There's something about the Delta. So much of the Delta, it hasn't changed, and it's a very physical, it's a very tangible kind of space, and when you walk into it, there's nothing artificial about it. We've had 150 people from 23 countries come to Clarksdale to learn how to make documentaries. So, like I just said, you've been running these documentary filmmaking and photography workshops for the past 9 years. I'm Chandler, and I run an organization called Barefoot Workshops. I'm a native Mississippian, and I run workshops everywhere, all over the world, and the most important program that I run is here in Mississippi. We are based out of New York City, and we spend most of our time traveling around running these documentary filmmaking workshops. We run them in the Mississippi Delta. Here in Clarksdale, we run them in Cape Town, South Africa, and Marfa, Texas. I'm a native of Mississippi. I grew up in Jackson, and so I left Mississippi and had these great ambitions of moving to New York City and really making it. And I got to a certain point in my life when I needed to figure out where I was from, and so I chose to do it through the documentary filmmaking process and teach people how to make documentaries. Our process has evolved because we've learned how important community is to the storytelling part of the process. When someone makes a film and they turn around and they screen it back to the community with the community, it's a very different experience. You actually see how your story can have impact on people.
And I went over and I said, ma'am, do you know of a stamp machine? Well, I guess it was 20 minutes later, we've been chatting for 24 minutes. I learned about Nanette Roberts.
We have a couple in our workshop, Mary and Daryl Friedman. And Mary's 75 and Daryl's 77.
And so I got back to my group and I said, what do you think about making a story about these two? And they said, sure. So we did it, and you're going to see it.
To come in for 3 weeks at 77 years old, you've got to want to do it. And they held their own. And, we go from 8 in the morning until midnight every day for 20 days with no days off, no downtime. And they did it, and they screened their film last night, and it was amazing.
My table, it was drawn up for my best friend, and he sent it to Ole Miss, and the engineering students met with me and measured me, and then they built it as a class project.
It's wonderful. We really enjoyed it, but we are exhausted. This film was done literally minutes before it was shown, is when we finished it. Hard to believe. We worked right up to the last minute, and the people here are wonderful. We've really enjoyed being in Mississippi. We have people that we've met and will become friends forever.
I started Barefoot in 2004, and in 2006, Allison Fast and I got married in South Africa at the end of a workshop. And so now we pretty much run all of our workshops together around the world, and she's the writer, producer, director, and I'm more of the camera editing technical person. So it's a great combination.
I really want to figure out some way that I can farm for myself full time and have enough cows to be able to support my family.
Last night we had a film about the Brown Family Dairy in Oxford. That is a universal story of a small business, people doing whatever it takes just to make it work and doing something that they're passionate about.
There's so many places I got to be and so many things I got to do. I spent a lot of time driving. We're at the farmer's market store here in Oxford. This milk we bottled this morning came out of a cow yesterday, and now here it is already in the store. We're gonna go.
All right.
See you later. All right, bye-bye.
Well, I've lived in Mississippi my whole entire life. I lived in Lafayette County my whole entire life, and to be honest with you, I didn't know anything about this, that this was even going on. To come here and to see the work that these people have done, and then not only their work, but the other people's story. I mean, this has been an absolutely wonderful experience for myself and for my family, to show that my children, this is what you can do if you want to do. There's opportunities.
When we first came to Clarksdale and we screened these stories back to the community, the response was, we didn't know how cool, we had forgotten how cool the people in our community are, or we'd forgotten how special and important our people are.
Take me to Ruval. Come on, man, let's go.
So we've produced about 90 documentaries in various locations around the world. One of my favorite films is one we produced in Mississippi a few years ago, and David Ray Morris and Susan Wiles produced a film about Duff Duro. All the films matter to me, but that one, for some reason, really resonated with me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know, all my life I've been looking for something, you know, musically or otherwise, and I always assumed it would be in Memphis or Hollywood or New York or England.
I went to the Barefoot Workshops knowing I wanted to do the story on Duff. I'd known him for years, had been a fan of his music, knew what a colorful character he was. And we got up there and it was just so serendipitous to tell all of this wonderful man's story. A month later, after we finished and screened the film, Duff collapsed on stage at a concert, and almost a year to the day later, after we made the film, Duff passed away.
That story suddenly became very important, and we posted it on the internet, and within 5 months, I think it had been played 10,000 times. And that means so much to me, to know that we made a film that people in Mississippi really love.
Everybody wants to ride, wake up on the other side.
And it doesn't matter where we go. We've run workshops in 22 countries, and in every place, when we screen the stories back to the community, their response is, thank you for telling our story, and thank you for reminding us of how important our story is.